What else do we have going on? Oh, in related news, so this is out of the Guardian, Australia. There's no way to budget yourself out of the cost of living crisis for low income earners, a report finds. So this is inequality reporting by Kate Kelly, and this is from earlier this month. Many participants struggled to afford basics, cutting back on food or rationing medication, a survey suggests. And so the idea that you just need to budget, you just need to tighten your belts, austerity, shared sacrifice, is increasingly difficult due to the cost of living crisis. The author of the report, Dina Bowman, says. Yeah, because, at a certain point, you just can't cut costs anymore when you're down to just buying essentials. So the article says people experiencing poverty and job insecurity are increasingly unable to budget their way out of financial crisis, a new report from the Brotherhood of St. Lawrence has found. The research, which asked 40 low to middle income Victorians to detail their finances over 10 weeks, found inadequate income support, insecure work, and the cost of living crisis are driving inequality across Australia. So there's this belief, the quote that they had, it's become more and more difficult to tighten your belt, the old Bill Hicks joke, so I'd like to tighten my belt around a right-wing politician's neck when they say that. Many participants struggled to afford the basics. They borrowed money or delayed paying a bill. They cut back on food or heating. They rationed medication, or in some cases, they moved regionally to try to save some costs, although in large swaths of the United States, that is not an option. Like a lot of the Midwest, just kind of the middle, if you divided the U.S. into thirds, sort of like west, middle, and east, the west and the east are just, people are priced out. Like people are pretty much stuck where they are. In the middle corridor, like Texas up through the Midwest, there's a lot of lower prices there. But yeah, the two coasts and a significant portion of inland territory from there are just totally frozen. There's no housing inventory. And so, yeah, moving regionally to try to save some costs. I mean, I actually, I have definitely moved a couple of times in the past to places where I was able to save money in the new place versus the old place where I lived. Just everything was cheaper. Gas was cheaper. Food was cheaper. And significantly so. I was like, wow, I'm saving so much money. And it's like, no matter where you go now, you would have to really move to just specific states, and entire regions of the country are out at this point because the across the board cost of living crisis is so bad. So anyway, Parliamentary Budget Office costings commissioned by the Greens showed that the lowest 40% of income earners will receive just 9% of the benefits from the reshaped Stage 3 tax cuts. Jeremy Paxson, the policy officer for the Australian Unemployed Workers Union, said that it was sickening that the government was offering no relief to people on job seeker who are living on $46 a day. Quote, has the government forgotten that people on income support exist? Has it forgotten that they vote? Has it forgotten that they still can organize for revolution? So anyway, we need a strong commitment to addressing poverty and disadvantage. I think you're not going to really see that for the rest of the system. I think it's going to be much more often than not just a fascist assault against people. Maybe when the crash comes, there will be some amount of temporary relief, but you look at what they did after 2008. It was like the Tea Party. They came out with the fascist shock troop berserkers, and they just kind of leaned into austerity, and that was kind of like the narrative. And you look at what happened with Greece, for example, in Europe. There was whole countries kind of scapegoated. So